Hello again. It's Noha, of course, the Conscious Maverick, back with another myth busting story for conscious entrepreneurs. And I hope these have been helpful somewhere along the line. And please do give me some feedback. I'd love to hear from you. So today's myth is well, if she did it that way and gained that massive success, then I should be doing it that way because then I'd also get that massive success. I cannot begin to tell you what a whole hogwash of bullshit that is. And I can say that first and foremost from personal experience and professional experience of having followed so many other people before and so many other people's way exactly to the T, their 12 step, their 10-step blueprint or map towards riches. I have done each and every one of those before, and every time I fell on my face. Why? Because it wasn't authentic to me. I wasn't being taught what was behind the understanding of each of those steps in order for me to create my own steps. I was being taught their step. And I'm here to say to you that it's an absolute, utter myth that if you follow somebody else's guidance, somebody else's blueprint exactly the way they did it, that you will get the exact same result. Because you and her or you and him, you are not the exact same people. You are unique. You are extremely special in your own right. What may just be needed is that you may just be needing someone to help you understand what your version of that blueprint's truth is. In other words, taking that blueprint and saying, okay, if this was your step, what would be the right step for me? Is it the same as this, or is it slightly tweaked from that? And I'm a big believer about this, right? So know what someone else did is not necessarily going to be your way of doing it and succeeding at it, right? However, I can, however, say that following somebody else's blueprint does give you foundational knowledge and groundwork to understand where you can depart from, which is always going to be necessary. On the other hand, of course, comparing yourself to what someone else did and having an expectation that that's going to be the outcome that you are also going to have, that's a bit dangerous. I can also say to you that many people in the online space, particularly in the marketing and business coaching perspective space, are not always going to tell you the deeper tweaks that they've gone through. They may be giving you the overarching understanding of what it is that they've done, but they may not be getting into that the real depth of what their thinking was behind it. In NLP, we speak about not only understanding somebody's behavior in what they are doing out there in the world in order to create something in the world, but we're also asking about what is the internal state and what is the internal thinking, right? And very, very few times, I have not come across this very often, where people are actually helping their followers understand what is their internal state, right? So the deeper aspects of their mindset, not just, oh, this is the affirmation I say, this is the thinking that I say, this is the beliefs I try to create, but what is the underlying deeper meaning to their thinking, right? To their the way that they feel, right? Their feeling state, so their internal state, and also the internal thinking. Only when you stop to ask someone, when you do that, when you create a new launch, for example, what is the first thinking that you have? Um, Only until such time when you ask or that somebody is being asked that, only then does it trigger one to think, oh, what is it that I do think about this? So I had an experience about a year or two ago where I'd ask a coach that very same thing. I asked her, when you start coaching or when you start launching, when the launch is about to start the next morning, what is the thing that's going through your head? What is it that you're saying to yourself? What is it that you're seeing out in the world? What is it that you're seeing for yourself? And she responded to me and she says to me, that is an amazing question. I've never had anyone ask me that question before. Like, well, my NLP training says to me that is something that is absolutely having to happen, right? So I do want us to think that somebody else's way that they have written down and created as their step by step is not going to be exactly your step by step. You have to check in with yourself and you have to come back into alignment all the time. You have to know if it's true for you. Now, speaking about alignment, I can tell you now, if it's not in alignment, then you're not going to succeed in it. I have done that over and over where I saw someone else doing something and then decided, oh no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it exactly like she did, because if I do, I'm going to have the exact same results and I'm going to have the exact same success that she had or he had. Right? And each time I did that, I fell on my face. Why? Because it was not true to me. Right? It was not true to me. I was trying to take on somebody else's thinking, belief structure, an entire state of being, and I'm wanting to cloak myself and clothe myself with it, covering up myself. In other words, I wanted to become them instead of choosing to become myself. So, really, this myth is to teach us to truly step into who we choose to become and to know who that is on a much deeper level. All right. I see you for the next one soon. Over and out for now. Cheers.